Since you're going to be drawing these all in elevation, you can just lay these parts down onto your tracing paper and actually mark them off where you think the widest points are. And draw from there. So we know this is the top of our stem that's cut, and the rest of this is leaf. And you're going to sketch in the shape before you start to actually put in the details. So again, you need to have a sketch, and then you need a contour drawing. So you're going to do this for all your parts. You can do this with your petal. Petal has kind of an interesting shape to it, and if you're going to add the stamen to the petal, is going to fall into about this area here. And again, these are sketches just to tell you where things are going to go. It's to capture the gesture and the movement of that petal so that you get a feeling for how this is going to look. The last thing is your pistil. And you can just let your stem fade out at this point. Add the stamen on both sides. You can show 3. And again, these are sketches, so you're going to have to go back in again and really draw with detail. Here we have the parts that we have to draw: a leaf, and showing how it joins to the stem, a petal with a stamen attached, and then the pistil. Now, this is the original sketch, and then I went to a good contour drawing. And so now we have the elements that you need in order to finish this drawing. I recommend that you take some time and figure out your composition, because the composition is really, really important. And the way that you do this is to take each one of these drawings and cut them apart. Now you can take these parts and you can move them around and see what looks good. So we could take this and maybe put this leaf over here. We can put the petal with the stamen and the pistil next to it. We can maybe put the flower in the center and then put other elements on either side. We could move these over here to the bottom, like so, or like so, or like so, and see how that looks. We could even put these in the center. What do we like? What looks good? And once you've done that, then what you have to do, because this is your good watercolor paper, you need to be able to transfer this stuff. I recommend that you use a whole new sheet of tracing paper, tack this down, and then retrace everything so everything is composed on one sheet of tracing paper. And then you can use that full sheet to transfer onto your good watercolor paper. When you're doing this arrangement of composition, Don't start getting cute by doing things like this. The plant doesn't grow that way. Position things the way the plant grows. It's going to make a lot more sense and give you a much nicer composition. Then I have now used my tracing to transfer to my good paper. And as you can probably see, I have a very light transfer on the page. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to look at my specimen again and make sure that I have all of my contours as accurate as I can possibly have them before I start to do the pencil rendering of this subject. I've started to redraw using a 3H pencil and really looking at the details for the contours of this tulip so that I get everything exactly the way I want it before I start to render. I think sometimes the best way to do this is by taking a photograph of sections of the tulip so that you can blow them up and see all the fine contours that the flower has. The other thing you should really be careful with is the stem. This stem does not get thick and thin. And now what I'm going to do is gently go over the transfer area again and erase all the underlying transfer so that all I have left is the line drawing that I redid with a 3H pencil. So now I'm ready to do my rendering. Now the important thing is to do your flower first because it doesn't last, and then you can work on the leaves and the other reproductive details.